everyone, this is Larry with Today I Feel Like. I have the brand new GoPro Hero 11 Black in-house, and I was about to get it set up when I realized that the settings are a little bit different than they were before, and I thought this is a good opportunity to go ahead and shoot and show you how I set up my GoPros when I get them fresh out of the box. So let's jump into it. I'll show you how I do mine, and here we go. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the camera so that we can take a look. And we'll go ahead and just swipe down so we can get to some of the preferences here. And the first thing we'll know is that this layout looks just a little bit different. It's still very similar, but a little bit different here. And you can change some things, like you can turn off voice control or you can turn it on. You can keep the language English or change it. I'm gonna go ahead and keep the current language, but I'm gonna turn it off because I don't generally like voice control. And it looks like it's when you turn it off, you're gonna have to turn your camera off and then power it back on there. So there's that. And now let's go back in, and maybe my camera just turned off. All right, there we go. So now you also have the audio controls. You can turn that off, the beeps off and on. I'll go ahead and leave them on for the moment. This right here is going to be quick capture, so that's going to allow you to just push the power button or the shutter button there and to start recording right away. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that on. I usually like to have quick capture on just in case. Now you can go ahead and lock your screen if you want to lock it so nothing gets bumped or moved. I'm going to turn that off. Now also right here you have your front screen options so that you can have that. You can have it off. You can have it to just status only. You can have it to actual screen, or you can have it on full screen. I actually like having it on actual screen, and so that's where I'm going to leave it. So now here we have this one here is going to have our orientation lock. So you can have that on, or you can have orientation all, or you can have orientation locked. I'm going to leave it on orientation all and leave that there. Now this last one here is going to be easy controls. It says right now easy controls will be disabled. Switching to max lens mode will disable easy controls. So I don't have, I'm going to go ahead, I'll hit continue there, and you can see there it says max lens mode enabled. I don't really want that, so I'm just going to go back and turn that off so that I don't have max lens mode enabled. So now let's go to the next page over here, and you can see this page looks a little different. In fact, this page is new, and so now you have a couple of new options on here. One, you can see where it says video mode and it says highest. We can click that there. And now you have where it says highest mode. It says the highest quality video resolutions and frame rates to help you capture the best looking footage possible. You can also slide that down to video mode extended battery. And that's going to say mid-range quality video resolutions and frame rates to help you capture stunning quality footage while extending your battery life. So if you happen to be somewhere and you're just shooting all day and all night, you're running out of battery, you can switch over to this mode to help preserve some more battery life. So you can keep on shooting. All right, we're going to take it back up to high quality, the highest quality, because that's where I want it. So, all right. Now here, you'll see there's a section that says controls, and there's a section that says pro. And if you click that, you're going to see there's Pro Controls. It says unlock all presets, plus gives you full control of all modes and settings. So you can get control over all the modes and settings. And if you slide this down, that's going to put you into a new mode called Easy Mode. And this you'll see it says preloaded with video, photo, and time-lapse settings to make it easy to point to shoot and get amazing results. So you can do that if you're not really sure about what settings to use, or you don't want to think about it, or maybe you're going to hand your camera off to someone else that may not be that knowledgeable about how to use it. You can just put it in easy mode, and then they can just use it and enjoy it and have fun. So maybe you're going to loan your friend or your sibling or your parent or somebody your GoPro for an event or a vacation. You can throw it in easy mode, and then they can just use it. So yeah. All right, I'm going to put this back up into Pro mode because I want to have all the settings. Now here we have preferences. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and you'll see there's going to be some sections that show for auto upload. I currently have that on, but you can change it on manual upload. You can have auto clear. There's wireless connections there, so you can have your wireless connection on. You have connected devices, camera info, Wi-Fi band, and then you can reset the connections. You also have in here general, And under general, you're going to have where you can change the beep volume. So you can go low, medium, and high. I'm going to leave mine on low there. You can also have quick capture on or off from here. So you can turn it on or off. There's default here, so you can have the default preset. So I have mine defaulted to the last video, last used video. So you can also change this to last used photo, last used time lapse, and last used. So whichever one you want to do, I'm going to leave mine on last used video. So there you go. And then you have auto power off. Right now I have mine set to 5 minutes, but you can set it to 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or to never. And this is going to set how long your GoPro must be in idle before it turns off. So I'm going to leave mine in 5 minutes. Now, mind you, this is just for idle. If you're actually using the camera where you're recording or shooting a time lapse or something, it's not going to turn off. So just understand that. This is only how long it takes for the camera to turn off if your camera is in idle. So yeah. All right. You have the LEDs. You can turn them all on. They're currently all on. I'm going to turn the front off only. I don't like to have the front lights on there. And then I'm going to have, it has the anti-flicker mode. You can change this from 60 Hertz to 50 Hertz. I'm going to leave 60 Hertz because that's generally where you want it if you are in the US. If you're in Europe, you probably want it on 50 Hertz. So, all right. And there we go. Those are most of those settings there. And you can come here. You have the GPS settings in here. There's a lot of settings to go through. But you have this, GPS. You can turn that off and on. You can have, again, you have your voice controls on here so that you can turn those off and on. You can have different languages. You have the commands that you can use. So you can see a list of all the various commands that you can have your device use. And yeah, all right. Now we have displays. So we can see here, we can have the orientation of the displays. We can have the screensaver for rear. Right now it's set to never. You can have screensaver for front. You can have it either match the front screen or you can have it on never. And again, on the front one, you can either set it to never or 5 minutes or 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. So anywhere from 1 minute to never. And you can always have it match the rear screen or you can set it to never. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and make it set to never. And there you go. And you can do the same here with the rear screen there. You can choose it 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, or 1 minute there. So yeah, I'm going to leave it on never. Now you have brightness. You can change your brightness from anywhere from, you can drop it all the way down to pretty much dim where it's 10%, or you can take it all the way up to 100% where it's nice and bright. It's defaulted at 50%, and I'm going to see if I can get it back to 50% there, because you can actually move it in very small increments there. And let's see there. Let's see if we can get this thing going. And I'm having a little trouble getting the brightness to the slider to work there. So let me see if I can get this going. And there we go. Let me see if I can get this back up to 50%. And there we go. Let's see. Oop, I had it. You get it back. And there we go. 50%. All right. Now, we can see it has rear screen grid. You can turn that off or you can turn that on. I have mine on. And then, yeah, so we'll go back here now. And that was displays. Now you have the, let's see, where are we at? We have language. So you can change all these different languages that you want. They have quite a few of them. I'm going to leave mine on English. And they have also date and time. So you can change the format of your date and time. And you can come in here and change the date and time if you like. And your time zones and whether or not daylight savings time is on or not. Now you can also have, you have a section for mods. So you can have your max lens mod, you can have it show, and you can have your media mod, but it's not, the media mod is not currently attached right now, so it's why it says NA. If it's attached, then you'll see some options on there for microphones and whatnot. So, all right. Now we can go ahead and see there's an about section if you want to go see about GoPro updates, camera info, and battery info. You have the regulatory stuff if you want to see that. And then you have a full reset button on there. So there you go. All right. Now let's go back up here, and now once you're on here, you'll see it's going to say standard. Usually it'll say standard right there. You can click that, and now you're going to have all these different modes that you can go through and set up. So my standard, I'm going to hit the little pencil here, and let's see, we'll get that going. And now we're going to see all these different options here, and we are going to have 5.3K, and we're going to have the option of having 4K, 2.7K, 1080p right there, and you can choose other frame rates as well, anywhere here from 24 frames all the way up to 240 frames for 1080p. 2.7 you can have anywhere from 60 frames to 120 frames, and 4K you have anywhere from 24 frames to 120 frames, and 5.3 you have anywhere from 24 frames to 60p. Now you can also shoot in 4:3, and you can shoot in 8:7, which is what I plan on shooting in most of the time. And with 8:7 you can shoot in 24 and 30. Now it looks like there's 60 on here, but it's grayed out, which tells me that maybe they plan on having 60 frames available in 8.7K. Actually, it is selected, so maybe you can shoot 8.7 on the 8.7, excuse me, the 8.7 format with 60 frames a second. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot in 24p because that is what I want, and you can shoot 5.3K with in 24p and 30p. And again, if you go to 60 frames, it drops you down to 4K, but you can still shoot in that 8:7. So, all right, there we go. That's going to be now that's going to be my setup for resolution there. And so, oops, let me get that back right there, 24 frames. And let's see if we can get this to go back up. And let's see. All right, let's see if we there we go, we have it there. So now you can see right there where it says lens and it says wide. It's pretty much grayed out because it's going to shoot wide automatically. We have hyper smooth. You can leave this on or turn it off. I always leave my hyper smooth on. We have capture, schedule capture. You can leave that on or you can turn it off, and you can set a date and time if you want. I'm going to leave that off. We have duration. You can set that a limit if you want to choose how long your camera records before automatically stopping. I like to leave that at no limit. You have hindsight. You can turn that on or off. Hindsight is going to allow you to have the camera sort of start to capture a little bit before you actually push the record button. In case you are about to miss something, it'll have already started recording. I don't like to do that, so I'm going to leave it off. All right. But you can, if you want, you can set that up so you can go and have it set to 15 seconds or even as much as 30 seconds. So I'm going to leave that off though. Now you can come down here, you have a timer and you have zoom. If you want the timer, you can set that on so you can have set a time delay so you can get in the shot. So you can have that go 3 seconds or up to 10 seconds if you want. Now you also have a zoom, so you can zoom here, use the slider to zoom in and out. You can go all the way up to 1.4x, which I'm going to leave at just the regular. Now as far as Pro Tunes, this is where you really want to go in here. Now Pro Tunes right now where it's set to 10-bit, it's off. I'm going to say turn this on. I feel like you should always turn on Pro Tunes, and in the Pro Tunes section, you want to make sure that you have everything set up so that you have the highest possible quality video recording at all time on your GoPros so that you get the very best out of it. So we're going to go ahead and turn this on. And now right here where it says bitrate standard, oh, no. We want to turn that all the way up. Crank that up to high. And you'll see it says use higher bitrate up to 120 megabits, 4K and up resolutions only for optimal image quality. If you leave it at standard, it says use lower bitrate to maximize file size. Now, I am of the firm belief that whatever quality you have available to you that is good, use that. I don't care what camera it is, always shoot the best quality that you can, unless there is a specific reason not to. Like if you just are out of memory card space and you want to capture footage but you just don't have enough room, then you may want to drop the resolution down. But always shoot the best quality that you can. Bit rate, frame rate, everything. All right. Now you see where it says shutter. We're gonna go ahead and leave that there. It says it's on auto, but you can change that to 24th of a second. You can go to 48th. You can go to 196 there, 192nd, and 384. So you can have some manual frame rates there, but shutter speed there. But I'm gonna leave it on auto. Exposure compensation I'm gonna leave on 0. On white balance I'm gonna leave it on auto as well. On minimum shutter speed, minimum ISO, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that on 100, and there we go. So now maximum ISO, I usually leave this at 800. Now you can go all the way up here. You can go all the way up to auto, and then you can go all the way to 6400 ISO. And you can go all the way down to 100 as your maximum. But generally, I usually go down to 800 as my maximum, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at 1600 because I believe this GoPro is going to do a little bit better in low light than previous versions, and I wanna see how it's gonna do. So we'll leave it at 1600. Now, sharpness, some people say you should drop it all the way down to low. Some people say you should crank it all the way up to high. I think it's too sharp with high. I'm gonna leave it at medium. That's generally where I like it. Now, color, you can leave it on natural, you can go to vibrant, or you can go to flat. It really depends on how much color grading you wanna do. If you don't wanna do a whole lot of heavy grades on your footage, then I would just say leave it on natural. But if you want to bump it up to vibrant so that you can go straight out of camera to like Instagram or something like that, you can do that. But if you plan on grading, then move it on, put it on the flat mode. But because I don't want to grade everything heavily, I'm going to leave it on natural. All right. Now for audio, you can see where it says raw audio. You can turn that off and on. It says records standard audio without a raw track. That's with it off. You can have raw audio low. It says it creates a raw audio track with minimal processing. You also have medium. It says it creates a raw audio track with moderate processing. And then high creates a raw audio track with full processing. I generally leave this one off. Now, if somebody's out there in the comment section that wants to tell me why I should turn that on, please do. Please tell me why I should turn on that raw audio, and then maybe I will. So. But I'm leaving it off for now. Now wind, I generally leave this on auto, but you can set it to on, and you can also set it to off. I'm gonna leave this on auto because, you know, I think the camera's pretty smart and intelligent at figuring out when it needs to protect itself from the audio from the wind. Now, the media mod's not on there, so you're not gonna see that. And now here you can change your shortcuts, so you can have in the lower left, you can have the lens, where you can change it from, you can change the lens, or you can change it here where you can go to slow motion, or you can have the lower left, you can just have it off. You can adjust your hyper smooth there. You can have scheduled capture, duration. Oops, let me get that. You can have duration, hindsight, timer, zoom, 10-bit, bit rate, shutter, EV compensation, white balance, minimum ISO, maximum ISO, sharpness, color, raw audio, basically all the settings available. You can choose what you want in the different corners of your screen. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on lens right there. I'm gonna leave it on lens right there. Now lower right where it says zoom, yeah, why not? I'll leave it on zoom. And then upper left where it says slow-mo, right there, I'm gonna leave that on slow-mo as well. I like that. I like that to be available there. Then upper right where it says hyper smooth, yeah, I almost always leave this on because I just don't turn hyper smooth off. So I'm gonna leave that there. I'll leave that there because I just don't ever change it, but I'm gonna go ahead and just leave hyper smooth on, and yeah. All right. Now there you go. You can hit restore, or you can just go ahead and go back. And now you are set up and ready to start rocking and rolling. Now, I usually, now there is a full frame one on here. You can see where it says full frame. And this one here, if you dig into it, you can see it's going to have some different settings on there. It's going to have 5.3 and it's going to have the 8x7 and 5.3K at 30 frames a second. And if we go in and if we go into to see the other stuff that's on, it's going to have hyper smooth on, schedule capture off, duration off, hindsight off, timer off, all that good stuff. And 10-bit is off. So again, you want to go through all of these and you just want to turn on the stuff that you would normally want on. Bit rate, you want to have it on high again. Shutter, you can leave on auto. White balance, I'll leave on auto. Minimum 100, we'll leave that on. Maximum 16, ISO, we'll leave that on. Sharpness, medium. And color, natural, we'll leave all that stuff. So all this stuff looks pretty good right here. We'll leave all of that like that is. Now, you have activity. I generally, on my activity one, I like to put this one here at 4K, 60 frames a second. With super view, I usually like to go wide, but you can go up to hyper view mode at 12 millimeters. You can go to super view and you can go to wide. I'm gonna probably leave that as super view for the activity. And then hyper smooth, we'll go ahead and leave that on, but I'm gonna put this on boost mode for my activity there. And then for everything else, I'm just gonna make sure that my bit rate is turned all the way up, and we'll hit that on high. We're gonna have my bit rate we're gonna have 10-bit on, high bit rate. We'll leave the auto shutter on. We'll leave white balance auto, minimum 100, maximum 1600, and sharpness medium. All right, there we go. Everything else looks like it is pretty good. They did change some stuff with hindsight. That's fine. We'll leave that like it is. Everything looks good there. And yeah, okay. And now you can see there's still some other presets in there. You have cinematic and you have ultra slow-mo. So for cinematic here, this is what I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna change this setting right here for to work in my studio here. So what it says cinematic, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna leave it at I'm gonna put it to 8x7, 5.3K, but I'm gonna put it at 24 frames a second there. So we'll do that. Now we'll leave it on the wide there. And actually, where it says hyper smooth on, I'm gonna turn that off because I don't need that on in the studio. It's gonna be on a tripod. And then where it says schedule capture, all that off, duration off, hindsight off, leave all that off. 10-bit, I definitely want that on. And where it says bit rate, I want that on high, so we're gonna get that there. Shutter, I'm actually gonna change this. I want my shutter at 1/48 of a second. So we're gonna manually put that on there. And now where it says ISO and it says minimum 100, maximum 1600, we're gonna go ahead and bump this up a little bit. We're gonna drop that down, and we're gonna manually set this to 800. I would actually want this about 640, but since I can't get 640, I can either get 400 or 800. I'm gonna leave it at 800. So there we have that. Now, you should maybe just go ahead and set it to 800 because you don't really want your ISO floating around when you're in the studio. But I'm going to go ahead and actually, you know what? I am going to go ahead and change it. I'm going to go ahead and just put that at 800 ISO so that we have it there. All right, we'll leave sharpness alone. We'll leave that at medium. The color we'll leave at natural. We'll leave the raw audio off. When we don't need that, so we're going to turn that off, and we are going to have we'll leave everything else there the way it is. So now we have our cinematic setting set up and ready to go. Now for the ultra slow-mo there, we're going to go ahead and click that, and we can see it's going to have 2.7 at 240 frames a second. I don't want that. I actually want to go ahead and have I want to have 16:9. And I want that at 120 frames a second, and I want it at 4K. So there we go. All right, we'll get that. And now we can have the lens. We'll leave that on wide. We'll leave hyper smooth on, and let's see. We want to have no schedule capture, duration no limit, hindsight off, timer off, zoom at just the regular 1x. We want to the Pro Tunes. We're not going to be able to get 10-bit and slow motion, so there's that. But we can get a high bit rate, so we're going to go ahead and put that on high. Shutter, we're going to go ahead and leave that on auto as well. We're going to leave the EV compensation at 0. White balance is going to be on auto. Minimum ISO is going to be on 100. Max is at 1600. Sharpness we'll leave on medium. Color we're going to leave on natural. Raw audio we're going to leave off. And wind we're going to leave on auto. And we'll leave everything else the same. And that's it. Right there, we have my camera fully set up. And now I'm ready to start rocking and rolling. And I can use my GoPro exactly the way I want it, whether or not I'm out and about in the studio or if I'm shooting some sort of fast action, doing some action sport that I shouldn't be doing at my age and mess around and hurt myself. But I can do all of it at the click of a button because I have all of those presets up and ready, up and running, ready to go and set up just the way I want them. Now I made one quick mistake that I need to go back and correct, and that's for the cinematic mode. I said to leave the white balance on auto. I didn't mean to do that. I actually want to set the white balance for my lights here in the studio. So let's hop back in right quick so I can show you. So let's go back in. I have my cinematic preset here. I'm gonna click the little pencil so that I can make the adjustment. I'm gonna scroll down here and find white balance where it says auto, and I'm going to change that. And I'm going to just move that up to where it says 56K if I can get it. And it might only be able to get me to 55K. And there we go. So I'll leave that there. I'll tap that. We now have the white balance at 55K. We have my minimum ISO at 800, maximum ISO at 800, 48th of a second, and 10-bit on. Bit rate is high. Yeah, so there we go. And I left the lens on wide, and I'm shooting at the I'm shooting on that 8.7. And the reason for that is that sometimes when I'm shooting, I might be in here and I'm shooting, and I don't know if I'm gonna need to shoot and actually send something out to Instagram as a reel. And when you have that 8.7 dimension, it's sort of like an open gate, sort of like shooting open gate. It allows you to be able to shoot and crop it into a 16:9. It also allows you to be able to crop it into a 9:16 so that you can actually get your proper composition in a traditional 16:9, but then also get proper composition when you're shooting with a 9:16 so that you can output a vertical video. So there you go. Anyways, those are my settings. I hope you enjoyed seeing them. I know this was a bit of a long video, but I wanted to make sure that everybody who is out there that either is new to GoPro or trying to get serious with GoPro can know what kind of settings you can use. And I'd say this is a starting point because as you shoot, you will find that you like your settings maybe tweaked a little bit differently than I do, but these are a nice starting point for you. So yeah. Anyways, there you go. I'll leave links to the GoPro down below in the video description if you don't have one so you can get started. I'll also leave links to my Amazon page and my social media contacts so you can reach me elsewhere. And I hope you enjoyed seeing this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And please subscribe to this channel. And follow me on Instagram. And I am Larry with Today I Feel Like. Thanks for coming back to see me. Come back and see me soon. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.